I'm not one of the ones who started the program. I was here when the program started. The program was started because you had a lot of young fighters in the prison at that time, brothers that wanted to box. There wasn't a gym facility.
Some people do question the fact that, you're giving them something violent to do, but we don't look at it as a violent way. We're looking at it as a rehabilitating way to let them do something that they're good at.
Once the program got started, then we see more and more down the line. Now we see this is a different age, a different time. We have a lot of young people coming to prison. A lot of young people have a lot of energy. A lot of them have a lot of talent. Some of them are blessed to be good fighters. Hopefully they can go out and do something for themselves, for their families, for their communities. Hopefully they can come back and help somebody else. The whole thing about the program, we have a good administration here. And this administration, in particular, have almost given us a free hand to carry the program as far as it can go, so long as it's in the guidelines of the institution and the Bureau policies. And we have been successful. We have brothers that left prison, became fighters. Bernard Hopkins, perfect example. We look for him to have a championship for the year. We hope he keep coming back, encouraging the fighters, working with them, giving them inspiration, and everything else he can do to help.
The program is very high. It gives them an outlet to take out their frustrations and the emotions that they go through every day here in the prison. Inmates that are able to participate in the boxing program are basically inmates that are classified here, have been physical, and that haven't been in trouble a lot within the prison. So they're the ones that are able to come in. I think within the institution system, there's a lot of top-ranked contenders that could be, and hopefully someday will be. Some guys come out of here with a good capability of being able to make it as a pro, but they don't have anybody that can keep a tight rein on them.
That I saw that appealed to me with Bernard was his human side, the side that he will say that he wants to come back to the prison and work with some of the guys who he's left here. Some of these guys are not coming out of here. For him to take a Saturday off of his day and come up here and work with Bernard has worked with my sons. I got two sons, both one plays basketball, he's 19. I've had Bernard sit down with him and tell him about the woes of prison and the woes of being a juvenile delinquent and stuff like that. That's the good part about it. I really think that he's now directing himself as a real positive image in the community, especially the black community.
Well, inmates involved in boxing, you find out that they are more like, more tranquil-like, because they have something to look forward to, knowing that if they do well, this can be like their way out the institution, even maybe having their time probably cut a little short with early parole maybe. But lately there's been a very strong camaraderie to the fact that they're ranked like number one boxing team in the state of Pennsylvania as far as institutional-wise, so they tend to stick together, or have a close togetherness, close bond.
Well, I'm ready to turn pro approximately at the end of this year.
Yeah, this year? Yes, sir. And where would that be?
Like in Philadelphia, Jewel Rising. Bernard Hopkins can go home and make a positive change in his life by boxing. So can the rest of the fighters here at Graterford.
Do you know how much time technically is left on your sentence, or?
Approximately 3.5.
And you'll be able to launch a pro career during that time?
Yes, sir.
My name is Sean Pennell. I came here in '92. I got into a little trouble. However, I'm still pursuing my boxing career. And Bernard Hopkins, he's a real inspiration because he came here and he came out of here and made something of himself, ranked #1 in the world. And as an amateur, I did pretty good as an amateur. I won championships, 91 and 92, even for the 1991 U.S. Championships. So I'm still trying to get to where I was, so maybe someday I can be or follow in the same steps Bernard Hopkins is.
Come here, at least I know not to be harsh about it, that they're gonna be here, you know, and around their peers, they must come off the blocks because they know I'm coming in the institution, and if one fighter don't show up that day, he gotta deal with his peers the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of the year. So it's good work here. There's no playing around. As you've seen a couple of rounds, these guys here, they try to get the respect, and if they can nail you, that helps a little bit of time for a couple of days to talk about. So it's good training. It keeps you in a good mental state, keeps me in a good mental state because, of course, you know, I know this is one of the places I started off at.
Above average sparring here, would you say?
Graterford, that is above average like talent here. You got some guys, I mean, not all of them is talent. Some of them, you know, want to get off the block. Some of them just have something to do, frustrations, where they can, you know, hit the bag and box a little bit. But yes, it's both here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Combination of tough guys first, and then there's guys that got natural talent and skill. So we combine all that together, and it's the perfect work, you know, that any fighter that can have. I mean, I fight a lot of fighters in the street at Prince Charles, a lot of good fighters. You know, I don't take nothing away from them. But these guys here, they well rested. Some of them might lift weights, some of them, you know, and they come, like I said, they don't have nothing to lose and everything to gain within themselves. Attracted me to boxing at Graterford was when I was here, 1984. Came here, I realized that I have a talent, and it was something to get off the block, but then I love to do it too. So it made my 5 years somewhat at ease because, you know, something I love to do. And time I get finished working hard, I go back and another day starts tomorrow. And that what got me started in boxing at the age of 18, 17, coming through here, knowing that, you know, I can be a champion. I didn't know what weight. At the time, I was fighting light heavyweight because of the diet here. As I got paroled and came home, things start falling in place. You know, I had patience, and that's the whole thing. Things didn't start right away. Still come back here to keep in the frame of mind that any slip up or any being around the wrong crowd, most likely that what happens to lots of people that's trying to do right, and the association got a lot to do with it, and just keep me in the frame of mind and stay hungry. I mean, I'm beating the odds every day. See, every day I'm home, and every day you see me on USA, HBO, Showtime. There's a lot of people remember me, man. A lot of people ain't expect me to live to 22, 23 years old. So I'm breaking the odds every day. And I ain't saying everybody in here go out, be world champion. But if 1 out of 50, 1 out of 20, or even if one mess up by getting out on this program, they don't say ban the program. They don't say, see what I told you? You got them people out there. See, I told you that boxing didn't work. They use it to get early parole. Some don't make it, some stick to it. I just happen to be the one that stuck to it and still come back and tell the guys that, you know, I'm gonna bring my world title back. The way things was going, I'll be honest with anybody. I said, man, I've been dead on in here with the lifers. A lot of these young guys, 19, 18, got double life, man. A lot of them ain't have a girl yet. You know, so what saved me from coming from being a fighter as I am now is jail. And hey, look, there's a lot of crazy things that goes on, but this is one of the reasons that I'm here, because I had that time at 7. I mean, you gotta look 17, 18, 19, partying, running around, a whole bunch of guys. Guy got a gun here, this guy, you running around, anything can happen. You don't think about it until it's over with. So that growing up period I spent here, the most important 5 years, no, I ain't gonna get it back, but it was school to me. It was high school that I didn't go out on the street. It was high school here. I learned how people are, I learned how rotten and dirty people are. I learned how there's good people here and there's bad people here. There's bad people out in the street and there's good people out in the street and there's in between or whatever. I mean, so I learned and got myself together mentally when I came here. I see this ain't no joke. This here is serious. This is the penitentiary. I mean, any minute, God forbid, happen, somebody get stabbed up, die, close the jail down, run us out of here. So this is a tense place. This is a tense place.
There's very little negative about it. All of it is positive. It helps him. And with him coming in out of here, it helps every guy in here. You know, they love to see him come in. You know, they wait for him like a kid waits for a toy. They want to just shake his hand and talk to him because they see what his success is. And those that will be coming home soon want to try to follow into his footsteps. And he's trying to inspire into them that it can be done. You know, so they're helping him, and he, you know, he's helping them too.
Well, the boxing program here is unique, one of the unique boxing programs in the state. We basically train Sunday through Thursday, the varsity squad, and we come down here sometimes to get attention off. And then you got some guys that are really gifted, you know, to come down here and work on it and practice on it, you know, the gift. Well, I spar with Sandman every day. I ran with him in the morning, you know, and Sandman was a great guy. You know, sorry that he fell victim to, you know, the circumstances of the jail and certain things. It's a great tragedy to us, the gym, and to the jail, because he was a really fun person, you know, himself, and then a great boxer also. Yeah, well, basically, you fear a lot of things all day long. There's no telling what may happen, you know, but a lot of guys, you know, just go, you know, go keep to themselves and come down to the gym, you know, and train, you know, to stay away from certain problems that happen in the jail.
Do you know the circumstances as to what happened to Sandman?
No, not really. I just know that it was something that happened in the past and it just come back up again, you know, and like I said, it was a great tragedy. We're sorry, you know, that he had to go that way or had to go at all, you know, because I'm sure that he would have been something one day in the boxing world. It helps us a lot here. A lot of guys go home and stick to it like Bernard Hopkins did, and, you know, and really make something out of themselves. This is a chance for us, a second chance, you know, as we call it, and we put out, you know, all in all into it and work hard for it because it's all we have right now.
How important is it for you to come here every day?
For me, individually, it's very important that I come down here, emotionally and physically. Emotionally to get myself prepared, even for the outside. And boxing helps you in many fields, you know, with anything to just communicate with people every day.
I started fighting here in 1972. As a matter of fact, I fought on the first amateur card they had here. And then I went and turned pro. And I had a few pro fights with Curtis Parker. I fought in Pittsburgh. And I enjoyed the boxing program. And it gives the guys a lot of initiative and ambition. You know, gives them something to do, you know. And we got a lot of non-violent programs, and this is one of them, to encourage the fighters to go out and don't come back, you know.
Tell me a little bit about your brother who fought Sugar Ray Leonard.
Kevin Howard, I got him interested in boxing at a young age. And matter of fact, we all turned pro together. And he was pretty successful. And as you know, was the first one that ever knocked Sugar Ray Leonard down in his career. And I was happy for him.
The time I was sparring with Muhammad Ali was during the time he was put out of the fighting game because service thing. He didn't go into the service to fight in the Vietnam War. During that period, what we did was different places, spar different places to help raise funds for the Nation of Islam at that particular time.
Were you a professional fighter yourself?
No, sir, amateur.
How often did you spar with Ali?
Couldn't count him.
What do you remember about those experiences? How great was he?
Well, he's the greatest fighter of all time. Not only the greatest fighter, he's one of the greatest human beings of all time. And what he had done for the humanity at large is unbelievable. Always be remembered by everybody.
With this program, they can come down here to give you a chance to get off the block, give you a chance to get out of the yard, give you a chance to do something positive. And it burns up a lot of energy. And it's positive energy.
Brother here, 17 years old. Come here. This brother is 17 years old. Sent to a maximum security penitentiary. Not a violent crime, but a crime he shouldn't have been for. Couldn't have been even certified as an adult. He comes to prison, that cuts him off with society as far as a good job, anything. But if we can work with him, help him gear his energies in a good direction, get him in school, make sure he get his education, his mind straightened out. When he go back out, he got an opportunity. But it's a shame for them to even send young people here to the penitentiary 17, 16, 15 because they've made a mistake. Here's another one, and we could go on. And these brothers are trying to be fighters. Keon, he's a fighter. He come here at 19, 18. There's another one, 18 years old. You know, and all of these brothers don't have an opportunity because there's not enough programs in prison to give them. So some of them can come down here and find a way out. And hopefully they go out and be successful, never come back to prison, never get in no more crimes, never do anything wrong. That's what we pray to God. That's what we want to come out of the prison. That just because a person made a mistake, that they are not condemned forever. You shouldn't condemn them forever. Because Adam was the first human being, and he made a mistake, and God forgave him and had mercy on him. And from Adam, all of us should learn from that mistake. Don't condemn anyone. Give everybody a chance.
My dream was going 84 Olympics. You know, I come up with the era of me, Meldrick Teller, James Schuler, all the Philadelphia fighters. We all came up together with the amateurs, with Joe Frazier's gym. And I always wanted to be a champion. I didn't know, of course, at age 11 and 12, I didn't know what weight I was going to be once I get there. But I always wanted to be a champion. You know what I mean? It was nothing else that I like to desire to do. And now, you know, I cash everything on this. I mean, not taking nothing away from myself, you know, that I'm not going to be making, if I stop boxing there tomorrow, I'm not going to have a job making $60,000, $50,000, $75,000 a year. I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm being realistic with myself. I'm a fighter. I was born a fighter. It's just that I'm thanking God that I had the opportunity not to come out here from the penitentiary at the age of 35 and say, okay, I want to be a fighter. It's too late. So I was blessed to come home at 23 years old, not to get in trouble again. And that's, I mean, you gotta look at a guy that's coming home from doing 5 years, 23 years old, with a GED that I got here. People with bachelors and honors, and they look on the news every day, they can't get a good job that they went to school for. So with chances that I have from the age of 23, getting parole with a GED, a job $50,000 or $60,000 a year. So the odds was against me, stacked up, I mean, high as it is wall outside. I used that to my best advantage when I was coming up. I mean, I never used the gun. What I mean by never used a gun, never used a knife. I intimidated people. People knew me now. I had trophies lined up upstairs, downstairs. Everybody knew, here come Bernard, here come Heads. They called me Heads at the time. Here come Heads, a nickname. And I took that as a point where as a bully. I mean, they'll see me, and before I make an attempt, they give me the jewelry, the money, and I just took it to the point, like, I can do this, I got this much power, I use my boxing in the wrong way. I mean, I hit a guy on his chin, his sneeze come off, he's knocked out. It was fun to me, you know, and then, you know, as I got older, steady guys, you know, the norm on the street is, where I come from, if a guy does something to you, you know, you get him back. You know, now it was the point where as though maybe, you know, I was blessed not to run into the right person. That's how I look at it. They'll come and call the police instead of, so we're gonna get Bernard back. We're gonna go up North Philly and get him back. And that what kept giving me stronger robberies and this and that. You know, 9 out of 10, sometimes they were spicing up a little bit more, but my record as a juvenile was so long, whereas though my name came up, I couldn't say I didn't do it because I got my record shows that, this is my makeup at that time. So from a poor family and no money and no representative, the court appointed and public defender, I mean, they look at your record and say, Bernard, you're gonna plead guilty to this week, you're gonna get 11 and a half. Well, I got 6 months in, I get 11 and a half, 23 months. At the time, you know, I said, okay, I did it, you know, and just to get out early. And that's a conviction, that's a conviction, that's a conviction. So as I graduated to the big league, once you turn 17, 18, you can get certified as an adult. So they go back on the convictions and they go back on your previous, and you know, you want no prior boy, you know what I mean? They go a lot of records here, son, you know what I mean? And send you to the big house. So boom, that wound me up here, and that was the whole scenario from there. That made me change. I mean, this is the big league. You know, coming up, you take it as a joke. I mean, you get your snacks, you get your little carton of milk at night, you study center, you might go home on good behavior every other week and come back the next week. I mean, it was a camp, man. You know, you get in trouble, you get home every week, you know, and that didn't show me that. You know, that didn't, you go on field trips, you ride on buses, you know, that didn't give me that didn't give me the notion that, look, this ain't nothing to play with. And as I grew and got older, it showed me then that this is nothing to play with. Institutions that for the juveniles not going to learn. They got their friends, they get their sneaks every week. But once they get here, they might not make it. They get raped, they get beat up, they might get stabbed, extorted. Anything can happen here, and it might be too late. I'll tell them, you know, that, you know, drugs ain't gonna get you. The fast money's gonna quit. You know, you got too many people you gotta look out for. You gotta look out for the guys that's gonna rob you and stick you up on the street if you got money. The cops gonna get you eventually. You know what I mean? I like that. I love the commercial Charles Barkley got. A lot of people, what do you mean you ain't a role model? I mean, this guy's a basketball player. I'm a boxer. You know, the parents is messed up. See, a lot of parents is messed up. The parents be around the kids more than Michael Jordan or more than Bernard Hopkins. If the parents is messed up and screwed up, and the kid looking at, well, my mother won't tell me that. You know, I for instance, a little, not to be long, I seen a kid throwing rocks at a car. A guy come out and tell the little kid, what are you doing? You know, don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this to you. And the mother said, what are you talking to my son like that for? Instead of her saying, chastising him, you know what I mean? She's jumping on the guy for talking to her son like that, and he's throwing cars. I mean, that's what I say that to say that if you don't get to the parents first, then it doesn't matter what you're telling kids, because as soon as they go home, the parents will have a joint. You go to school, that's why I don't go to no schools and none of that with a suit and tie on. I go in there with a sweatsuit just like them because I look like their principal or their father. Kids stay off of drugs. I'm Bernard Hopkins. Here, they might bomb you out with paper cups. I go in there like I am. I look like them, you know what I mean, with the same, what we call gear, clothes on, and they accept me better. They say, well, yeah, he one of us, man. Did I get to talking to him? But to come in there with a suit and tie on in elementary school or high school, stay off drugs, then I look like their principal or their teacher. They're not going to accept that. Me and Bowie sitting here, or the inmates sitting here, things, something to break out, you know, and I seen guys get stabbed up, and, you know, you can't do nothing about it. That's the jailhouse norms, you know. I didn't see nothing, you know, guys sitting there bleeding. I mean, crude as it sound, that's the norm here, because you don't want to be labeled as a snitch. Nobody's safe as long as you know it as a snitch. I seen guys with double life killers on the street. Mean guys, guys that you'll never expect that. You know, if I got a chance, man, to get out like you is, Bernard, man, you know, I'll give anything back. Cry, you know what I mean, break down, real tears. So when a guy come up and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna rip your nose off, you're gonna need your mask when you're after the fight. You know, I say this guy's scared to death. You know, his ear twitching, and, you know, he's using intimidating as boxing. But I don't know if it made me hard, whereas though not my heart, but as a person, it made me hard mentally. And not to, you know, be afraid or underestimate nobody, because even in here, you know, everybody look tough, you know, just as the roughest and the toughest guys here. So you can't look at a guy with smooth skin and no cuts on his face and figure he's a punk. You know, there's guys here that talk nice, good attitudes, and you never thought they was the type of guy they was until you get them to that point. So I learned not to underestimate nobody, and not to disrespect anybody and stay out of people's business. I mean, this is a place where as though you had to have some respect for yourself or they'll run right over you.
And understanding the role of being an underdog. Without boring anybody with the story, because y'all heard it, I've been in the game 2 decades. My beginning was an underdog, but my ending won't be.
That you can do it if you just listen to Bernard Hopkins and watch the way I discipline myself since coming home from the penitentiary in 1988, never look back. It can be done.
The underdog has always been a motivation for Bernard Hopkins, because I believe any black man that goes up, any black man that lives in the ghetto, doesn't get a good education because he chooses not to. And then he go to penitentiary for 5 years, and then he walk off 9 years. And then he become the Bernard Hopkins, the living legend. Bernard Hopkins, the respectful guy that took on the industry and spoke up when others didn't. Why wouldn't I be the underdog? I don't know how to function if I'm the favorite. I don't. That's right.
How do I function being the favorite? I'm not used to that. No, I'm not embarrassing myself by doing what I do right now. Matter of fact, I'm a threat to any young body to step in the ring with me. I'm not cocky, but I'm confident, and confidence comes with work. Confidence comes with knowing that you put the work in. I was asked a question every day the other day, and it really stuck in my head, and it was a great question. It was simple. It was like, Bernard, how do you feel being 48? I asked it. I said to the guy, I said, you know, that's a great question that I didn't hear for a long time. I don't know what a 48-year-old guy feels like, but I can tell you, back in Philly, and y'all can speak for your own self, you can speak for your own friends, your family, or whatever, your father, your mother. There's a lot of 48-year-old guys that I know they ain't in good shape. The pharmacy is making a killing off them because they get medication. They take 5 medications, high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, whatever they got, they taking every day, right? Now, this ain't a joke. This is real serious in this country. In this country. I'm not gonna get political, but this country. So when I was asked that, it was a legit question. How do you feel being 48 as of January 15th? I said, what do a 48 guy feel like? Because the average 48 guy ain't Bernard Hopkins, obviously. Let that thought simmer in your head for a minute. I'm different, and I'm clean. And so that's the thing. Lance Armstrong had all y'all food. I'm doing this off of nuts and bananas, right? That I don't grow, but I assume Whole Foods and Trader Joe's are really organic. So the focus should be not that you're taking on another young threat that's knocking everybody out, but you're 48 years old, close to 50, as the months trickle down in this year. And y'all see Lance Armstrong put the biggest wall over your eyes with over $400 million that y'all gave him, not you personally, you know what I mean. And you got somebody amongst y'all who's doing this thing at a high level that's clean. And y'all want to talk about something else? That's the political part of Bernard Hopkins. But I want to be at the grinding, where they understand my language, and I understand their language. And we ain't got to speak. We on D-block, and I nod at him, and he nod at me. We know what that means. We ain't got to go ahead and talk about, man, I'm a great fan, and this and that. When we look at each other like I came in that front door, the guys looked at me and did this, I looked at them, no smile, they did that. We know what that means. That's homage. You know what I mean? The Illuminati, they do this. They put their hands up. You know, the secret world. They got all, you know, the ear and all that. We got this. Sometimes we do the chin.
That's right. You know what I mean?
What does the chin mean?
Huh? We don't tell white folks that. No. That's what's up. That's what's up.
The executioner! Congratulations, Golden Boy!